Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. I'm here with Mabsy to react to Everton's 3-1 win at Goodison against Southampton in the opening fixture of the season. Mabsy, what's your overarching thoughts?
Well, well, yeah, amazing. In the end, I think they got a kick up the arse at half time. Most definitely, there's a different Everton squad that came out there. Amazing, just like, yeah, we're back. It's great to be back in Goodison, albeit I still haven't got the season ticket. God knows when I'll get that. It's absolute, but yeah, we're back and back in the seat, back with everyone around me, and it's boss. But good to be back.
Feels good, doesn't it, to get the 3 points, to get off to a winning start. I don't know how important do you feel that will be for us in terms of our momentum now?
Well, it's good, absolutely. I think we have a problem next week because of Leeds getting battered. They're going to want to have that's a problem. Personally, I think they've been beaten 1-2-3, but they're going to have to get a point improved now, aren't they? So they're going to have to come out. But if the team in the second half comes out, I don't think we'll have a problem. But I'm just worried that the team in the first half will come out.
Yeah, I think we'll touch on that either later or in a future video. But I do think the test against Southampton will be useful because Southampton, they play quite aggressively. They play quite in your faces. They press you high up. And I think Leeds have that kind of intensity, albeit they can probably do it for a bit longer than Southampton managed to retain their energy today. So it was kind of a good test in that regard. Let's go through the game chronologically.
So we have to do we play a first half? We just talk about the second.
Well, I'll just start with sort of the reaction at the Goodison atmosphere. Benitez's arrival on the pitch. I mean, what did you make of all that? It was generally positive.
It was, but I think they've done it. They did that in a very clever way. I don't think they kind of would have. They kind of touched on it quickly and skirted over it a bit. I mean, there was no booing. I think people around me, and I must admit, I didn't clap, but there was no boos. So it's in that respect, it's good. I think people wanted to clapped, but the people who didn't just remain silent, and that's the way it should have been. And I think that's right, personally.
Yeah. I think you've got to get behind the manager at this point and, give him a few games at least to see how he's doing.
Of course, but I wasn't going to clap him. That's I just couldn't do it. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to boom him either. I mean, I'm behind him. I just not going to clap him. Fair play, we won today, and I'm made up. And he changed it around. So yeah, great.
Yeah, I can see quite a few comments are coming in. We do welcome all your comments, and I'll kind of come back to them in a minute. We'll just go through the game a bit. So first half, we started. I would say we started quite brightly for about 10 minutes, but the rest of the half was quite poor. I mean, would you agree with that, Abzi?
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's shocking, appalling that goal again. Keane's and Holgate's fault. Yeah, there was not much more can be said about the first half. I don't think. I
don't want to dwell too much on the first half because I think it's early in Benitez's tenure, and there's still a lot of issues to be addressed. But from what I saw, I feel like we try to come out and play a mixture of possession football and long balls, as Benitez has spoken about, but we ended up getting the ball and really not having any options to pass out, and then ultimately lumping long balls at which half the time we're not really aimed into channels or into players making runs, which eventually was our own undoing because the goal came from, I think, Michael Keane lumping the ball up, and the header got won by the Southampton defender, came back to Keane and Holgate. There was a bit of a mix-up. They lost the ball to Adams, and then the new boy for Southampton, Armstrong, was through on goal and then put them 1-0 up. So there's still some issues to be ironed out, but I'm sure we will get there.
Yeah, and I've just seen one of the comments. I'm just going to touch on it. Okay, So being called pathetic. Put it up. Let's have a look at that one. Okay. Right. You support the team. Well, okay. Well, I did support the team, so I didn't boo him. I just didn't clap him, but I clapped everyone else. I cheered on. So call me pathetic. A bit harsh, to be honest. Have your own opinion, not a problem. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to it. But there we go. I'm honest, and I said didn't clap him, and I didn't. But I support the team. So okay, we move on. Right. Anyway, so a great comeback, honest guys providing. Well, yeah, no, I didn't boo. I was just frustrated, and
I have to admit, I clapped Rafa, but I did boo, so I'm the opposite. So I wasn't impressed with that first half at all. As I said, we were pumping aimless long balls, and there seems to be no intelligence in the players to do the right options.
Yeah, but again, Southampton, after that goal, they were playing rugby, not football. The referee in the first half, and it got slightly better in the second. But when Richarlison goes down in the box, he gets done for diving. Their player does it, and he quite literally goes, "Go up, get up." Nothing. What's that about? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. The referee, it's double standards. The poor refereeing. But yeah, Southampton got away with a lot of time wasted. They were time wasting from after they scored the goal. What was that about? They weren't coming at us. They sat back and then started hacking us down.
Well, we've got a comment here. Another one from Neil. He said we were playing decent until Keane handed them a goal, which gave them a lift and knocked us back. Whatever was said at halftime did the job. Richie, Doucoure, Gray, and Townsend were standouts.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's absolutely that halftime talk was brilliant. Obviously, he's fire. He's got passion.
I think we were playing okay, but I think that Southampton actually were in control, which was the concerning thing. They knew that their aggressive press, their physicality was outdoing us and really stopping us creating too many chances in that first half. The goal was another comical error, like the ones we had last week against Man United and the one that Keane stumbled on against Man City the end of last season. It seems to be creeping into our game at the moment, these sort of stupid errors. So it's something we're going to have to cut out if we're going to win the games. So moving on to sort of after half time, I mean, it was a total different kettle of fish, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? This is of course it wasn't. Yeah, it was great, but this has been a story for God knows how long. We have one shit half and then one great half. Why can't we have two great halves? It always seems to be they get a bollocking and then they come out and perform. Why can't they do it normally? Yeah, absolutely, Andrew Ford. Yeah, of course he did, and great. And at the end of the day, I don't want them to lose. I want Rafa. Don't believe me. It's I want success. So no, you know what I mean. Okay, I didn't clap him, but it is what it is. But yeah, he did. He must have, and he's done the right thing.
Were you happy with the team sheet that came out initially?
Well, we didn't have a lot of options. We don't have a lot of options. Then 5 players self-isolating or whatever. Yeah, it didn't excite me, or it was underwhelming. But what can you do? Apathetic. But at the end of the day, we've managed to win, and that's all that really matters, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the reason I ask you that is because actually Benitez made a couple of tactical tweaks at halftime, which you've got to give him credit for. It's something I think I said to you when I came over to you in the ground, that Richarlison should be playing closer to Calvert Lewin if we're going to punt balls up, because those two are our main aerial targets. And to have one stuck out on the wing and one isolated in the middle is making life harder than it could be for that sort of tactical game. The other thing I noticed was Keane and Holgate switched position. I don't know if you saw that in the second half. I don't know if that was to do with Adams and Armstrong or something, but there was a slight tweak, and it seemed to work a little bit better with Holgate playing left centre back and Keane right centre back. But I mean, those two have got a mistake in them, haven't they?
Well, we can see both from the goal they've got a mistake in them. Yeah, absolutely.
You can see the comments. Neil saying, looking at the defence, Godfrey and Mina should be first choice. We are looking at selling Mina, so the rumours go is not good, really. Keane and Holgate liability. I mean, that's what I thought when I saw the team sheet. I thought, well, what else can we do? But they are a liability, those two.
Yeah.
And Penny says Holgate would rather have Mina or Branthwaite both over him any day.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and that mistake was a fucking joke, to be honest, by the two of them. But I see Pickford shouting more. He's more commanding. He just seems to ooze that confidence now. I don't know. Let's hope it stays like that, because that's the Pickford we want to see. You know, being the leader, shouting at them, telling them off. He was great.
Yeah. So what do you think changed second half?
I think they got a bollocking. They must have got absolute bollocking, and they deserved it. And Rafa was right to do it. I've got no qualms. Absolutely, he was right.
We had to show a bit more aggression. I mean, I don't know if there was a lack of passion. There was a lack of something in the first half. A bit of urgency.
Yeah, no fight.
No fight. It was just lacking. And we came out second half, and there was definitely a bit more sort of urgency and fight. And we got the first goal pretty quick, which was pretty imperative, isn't it?
Of course, that changed everything. That that little toe in by Richarlison, fucking genius, by the way. Absolutely, it just raised the roof. Brought us the confidence to go and get the second and then the third. And again, Rafa did the right thing. After the third, shutting up shop. But again, no issues with that. That's exactly what we should have done. I'm glad he did that. I thought we were going to win 2-1. Like I said in the pre-match before, but I'm happy. I'm glad I was wrong.
You got a bonus goal as well.
I know, absolutely. Well, made up I was wrong. At the end of the day, that's it's 3 goals, 2 plus goal difference. Oh, hello, Ryan.
We've got a guest.
I've just popped my head in. Sorry to interrupt this video. Just want to say, get in.
Ryan's at a working.
Why I'm in a bow tie and a white shirt. I'm actually at a wedding, and I missed the game. I did manage to see bits and pieces of the match. Oh God, I'm looking awful now. Bits and pieces of the game on the laptop, and I thought, I'm assuming I've not seen any of your videos, so I'm just literally.
No, it's fine. That's absolutely for whatever.
I'm just giving you my opinion from someone who wasn't at the ground, and I thought that the first half, 20 minutes, we looked dynamic. I think they buzzed off the crowd a little bit, and then after the goal, which was typical Michael Keane, his distribution on the ball, and the minute he takes a touch, they know to press him and harry him, and they robbed the ball off him, which we saw against Man City at the end of last season. He's just not capable of doing that. And then from that, Everton's heads dropped, not in the game for the rest of the second half, for that first half, really struggling to find a spark. And I think in the second half came out much brighter. Richarlison with a trademark goal, Andros Townsend with a headed assist, and he kicks it in. It's a classic Richarlison finish. The crowd go wild, and I think from then onwards, they struggled a little bit to really capitalise on that. But I think once Iwobi came on, I thought Everton were in total control, and it was a matter of time before they scored. Doucoure's goal was sensational. Never seen anything like that. Didn't think he had it in his locker. And then obviously Calvert Lewin with a diving header to seal the 3 points, really. Southampton never looked like scoring after that, and I think the substitutions were fantastic. So that's just my quick little reaction on your video.
That's thanks, right,
soon, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe. And I'm interrupting Basil's hosting, but I'm going to catch you up on this video later, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.
See you soon, Ryan. Yeah, cheers.
Can you boot me off?
There we go. He's gone. Short but sweet. But yeah, no, I think that sums up perfectly. I mean,
it was a good summary. I mean, yeah. So the second goal for Doucoure's goal was excellent,
phenomenal,
wasn't it?
Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, man of the match for me. I know Richarlison, it's tough, isn't it? Who's your man of the match, guys? But I think it's slightly edged out with Doucoure. Just did nothing wrong. Can't fault the guy. But yeah, as I say, just gives that confidence, and then DCL got the header.
It was confident play, wasn't it? Because
yeah,
it was a few passes, bit of exchange down the wing, ball crossed in, and DCL with another trademark goal, this time with a diving header.
You know what though? What really annoys me is that obviously someone sitting in the few rows, a few seats next to me, goes to 70 minutes. Why? We're 1-1. And to be fair, we are slowly dominating the game. Why do you go 70 minutes? You know, you just missed 2 fucking cracking goals. And you know, what's the point of paying that money? It's a waste to me, even being honest. What's the point of going?
Yeah.
If you're going at 70 minutes, it's ridiculous.
And then from that second goal, second and third goal, we were in control pretty much, weren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, Southampton didn't really create a lot of opportunities clear cut from then.
No, he didn't. And again, you know, he obviously brings on Mina, and yeah, absolutely. Why brings up, you know, shutting up shop, I think was the ideal time to do it. He was right. Did you think Richarlison was a bit pissed to be such a cheater? It's like, what?
I think he's always unhappy to not play, isn't he? I thought it was actually a good move when I saw the board come up, and I thought Richarlison. I thought, you know, it's giving him a chance. It's only 2 minutes left. Give him a chance to have the round of applause that he thrives off when.
Absolutely, but he just walked off, and his head was down, like he was coming off, and he was pissed off. Like, you know, you got the reason why Rafa did that was obviously to give him a standing ovation. To, you know, as you say, build the confidence. I think what we're doing as a club is trying to make him feel as welcome as possible. You know, that thing where they presented him with the Richarlison print. It's all to try and make him stay, because he's a linchpin in our team. And yeah, okay, he does end up on the floor quite a lot. And it's probably contrary to what I said a few weeks ago. I think because obviously there was rumours about him going to Madrid and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I'm happy. I want him to stay, and I think a club are doing everything in their powers to make that happen.
Let's go back to the comments then. Mark says, "Would you clap the gaffer if we won silverware?"
Of course I would. Of course I would. Yeah, that's absolutely. I'd kiss him if I had the chance. To be honest, if he won silverware, correct? Yes, I would.
Jeannie says we're getting bullied in the first half. Simple as that. Rafa turned it around.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more of a mental change, wasn't it? More in the aggressiveness of the players and the work rate. We were getting bullied, and it's something I saw last night when Arsenal played Brentford. They were bullied by Brentford, and they used the home crowd to get on their backs to beat them. You know, so you know, if you don't turn up and you don't be aggressive, you won't win a game. It doesn't matter how good you are.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, and you know, I think we bought them. We in the second half, I think they came out. You know, I think, you know, heads were down. I think we did bring it back, and you know, we've got to say we did play some part in that. I mean, as I say, being back in that stadium was immense. back in my seat. But yeah, so it's all good.
Andrew says, "Hi lad, hi,
all right.
Hi Andrew,
hello."
Neil saying, "Did you hear Basil's booing at halftime on the laptop?" That's the line. Yeah, I'm hoping it. I didn't start the booing, but you know, it wasn't the best performance, was it?
Don't lie, Basil. I heard you.
Neil says, "Come on, you lose." Steve, agree. Keane and Holgate not good enough. Mina and Godfrey our best centre back partnership.
So is Godfrey then isolating?
It looks that way, doesn't it? It looks like Godfrey, Gomez, Gabamin, Keane, and James are all isolating.
But I don't understand why not. I don't get why he hasn't named them. I don't get that.
Well, I can understand it now, because I think people thought Mina was in that group, so he's kind of reserving some information, isn't he? But now
Maybe
it's
it's
all out.
tactically.
Yeah. There's not a lot to hide now, is there?
No, exactly. Maybe it was a bit of tactical play, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think the first
Essentially.
11 was kind of nailed down regardless for the game, because
Yeah.
I don't think that would have changed much. Those players who were out, maybe James would have played. But I agree, the centre-back situation. I don't think Mina's up to speed yet. He's only just come back like 2 weeks ago, so I think that's part of the reason he's on the bench at the moment.
You see, but then you get, is he trying to sell Mina, or is Mina up for sale? Who knows? There's rumours going around that he is, but I don't. Why would you sell him? I wouldn't personally, but in my opinion, I wouldn't sell him. But maybe we've got to. I don't know.
Steve also says Doucoure man of the match, Richarlison.
Yeah, obviously, Steve, he's close. Obviously, Richarlison's a close, but I do agree with it. Doucoure was just everywhere, boss player, and
very close, isn't it?
Of course, it is. It's on a knife edge, but I would give it to Doucoure. Doucoure just edging it.
I would as well, because he just seemed to be everywhere, didn't he? He was niggling in, just winning the little second balls and getting interceptions and tackles, and he seemed to be controlling the midfield today a bit on his own. I didn't feel like Alan really had a footing in the game at all.
No.
I didn't feel like he had a good game today. Doucoure was doing the work. Richarlison, he got the assist, he got the goal, so he's got to get a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Neil saying Ward-Prowse would be great for us. Hopefully he stays in the States and we can bring him next summer. His set-piece delivery would be top with our aerial threats. Yeah. He brings energy, and Siggy definitely does not. I did feel like Siggy could have been useful today in terms of his right-footed delivery at times, and his ability to sort of pick the ball up in gaps and feed passes through to the wide players. But that's just something we're going to have to find from other areas.
Somehow, I don't think he'll be featuring for us for a very long time, if at all, ever again.
But Ward-Prowse
won't go there.
Ward-Prowse would be very useful for us, but if he took as long as he does for them to take corners, then I think people will be very frustrated very quickly. Mark
absolutely.
Sorry, Mark says, who is the penalty taker?
Good question.
Mark, who is the penalty taker? I don't know the answer to that question. Who do you want to take the penalties?
Richarlison, isn't it? Richarlison's always been the second choice, and now that certain people are not currently playing for us, it's got to be Richarlison, hasn't it?
But
for me,
is that changed because Richarlison skied one in the final of the Olympics, or not?
Yeah, but oh god, the Shakers have scored. By the way, just 2-0. Fuck off. No, I don't think. You're always going to miss a penalty. You're always going to miss a penalty. But again, it's up to what happens in training, which we don't see, so we don't know. Who is? I think it'll be Richarlison still, but I don't think he's going to get punished for something he missed in Brazil. In the Olympics rather. Sorry, playing for Brazil. So
yeah. Steve saying, "Come on, guys! Thank you."
Cheers, mate. And no, Steve, and as I say, you obviously that comment before. I get you where you're coming from. No, I do. I am, but just to make it very clear, I am behind the team. And I do never want us to lose, or I want Masters to be successful. I really do. Honestly, I do. Because if Rafa's successful, that means Everton are successful. So there we go.
And then we've got Neil saying Godfrey would have played today. Yeah, I agree. Mina in as much, you say, not match ready yet, plus the sale rumours, which I hope are not true. No, I hope not either.
No, nor do I.
But then again, we've got to a situation where we're going to have to sell somebody to buy. Do we need to sell somebody and just take a risk?
Well, you have to sell, and I think there's big elephants in the room. But there's two which obviously quite well. There's obviously Moise Keane. Again, Inter have got a fucking cheek coming out in for a loan. No, it's a cash offer. Or no, we'll keep him. I'd just say get James off the books. There, I've said it. I don't like his attitude. Yeah. Not much more I can say on that one. And again, people will probably slate me for saying that, but at the end of the day, I want someone that's committed to the club, not someone who decides when he can be asked to perform.
Yeah, it's difficult because on the face of it, I would say he's a quality player. I don't want him to go. But if we're that dire in terms of financial need, a player like that who's not going to be playing half the games and is on extortionate wages, then there is a real argument. Then if we really need to get someone off the books, then maybe it has to be.
He's a luxury that Everton can't carry, unfortunately. I think.
But he is the sort of player we don't have another player like that in the team at all, because we don't have anyone to pick the ball up and sort of make a pass. You've got Michael Keane trying to do these fizzed passes out wide, being the creator from the back line, because our midfield is just not capable of spreading a ball.
It's tough because you've got to balance it out with new players. So if you need to balance the books, then he's a luxury that we can't afford to play 50% of the time. For me, I just want him gone. I do. Move on to the whole James. He's not even ever played in front of the fans. There's always an excuse. I'm sorry, but always a reason why he's not been able to play in that. Fuck off.
Mark saying, was it chaotic with the tickets today?
No, it really wasn't actually. I thought I went to stadium really early. I thought it was going to be a disaster because I sit in the park end with David and Ryan's like 2 rows behind me, 2 or 3 anyway. But no, it was swift getting in. The queues at the box office, there were queues, but again, not like really big queues. So I think everyone who could went Friday, like me, to get it sorted. I still haven't got my season ticket, but I'll sort that out with the club. But I don't think there was chaos in seeds that everyone thought there was going to be. I think it actually went quite swimmingly.
Yeah,
well.
I think it did. I think the chaos was before today, with people not having tickets and panicking. And actually today, I think most people arrived a bit earlier, and it was generally smooth. You just put the ticket card down on top of the thing now, and
it's on top. Yeah,
it's like contactless. You just tap it, kind of. So it's very easy. But the only bugbear was the park end is sort of half closed off, so you have to, when you try and go in from Bullins roadside, you get told you have to walk all the way around to Dixie Dean statue and back up.
Yeah, you see, the communication that wasn't the greatest. Surprise, but I thought when I read that communication that basically it was only going to be one set of turnstiles open, but in fact it was the 2 turnstiles open, but you could only access the park end from Goodison Road. And then
you'd get to the park end and there'd be stewards shouting like right near the turnstiles, this is only for the park end, like it's too late by the time. Like if you were going for Bullins Road, you got to the back, the right hand side of the park end, you'd be told then to walk all the way around. I mean, the signage and the preparation for that was not particularly
good. Again, Everton struggle with communication. I do think that, but I don't think it's. They struggle. Let's be honest, they struggle with communication. But I think, I didn't think there was any ticket chaos today. So I think everyone went swimmingly. I think everyone got in on time.
Yeah.
So it was good in that respect.
Okay, we'll move on to another comment from Neil. I've never understood why DCL is never in the frame for pens. He was definitely going to take one for England until Henderson stole it from him. Should be number 2 after Richie Sheffer.
Well, you know what? We don't know what's going on in training. Our penalty taker is currently unavailable. Nothing's been mentioned. I'm not going to mention anything. But yeah, why not? As I say, we don't know. We don't know why this isn't happening. What maybe it is behind the scenes. But as I say, we don't know yet, do we? So it's just a matter of I wouldn't mind DCL taking the penalty. Let him have a go.
No, I wouldn't. I
course.
think he took one for England and he put it in the top corner. So
Yeah.
I've got no problem with giving him a chance. I think on paper, you look at the team and you think who could take a penalty. You'd have to say Sigurdsson. Obviously, he's out of the frame at the moment. And then after that, you're looking at probably Cenk Tosun, who's injured and never going to play, really. So it does come down to Richarlison, Calvert Lewin. And there's a few, though, I'd be interested to know if they would take one like Townsend, Gray, and Luca Dean. A few candidates there that I would imagine would probably take one if they had to. Pickford's another option. Vicky's saying nice to get the comeback win in early, considering it's a rarity in the past 5 years.
Yeah. I think they're discussing it behind me, saying, have we even come back from, if we've been 1-0 down at our time? It's very rare for that to happen. So, yeah, great.
Yeah. At Goodison, I think we have done it with the fans, but away, as you know, you've been to most of the games, you don't get much joy if the tactics are wrong and you go a goal down. But I think you're right, Vicky. It was not just in the fact it was a comeback win. I mean, that's great for the mentality, but the fact Richarlison scored, DCL scored, that's your two main goal scorers off the mark early. Bit of confidence, the team coming from behind. You can't really complain with the outcome of today, can you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Neil saying, I agree. Keane and James, we should sell if we get decent offers. Kenny as well. Mina only if we have a good option to replace him. Holgate was rumoured to Brighton, rather see him go than Mina. Yeah. It's a shame about Holgate because 2 years ago he was like player of the season, really, wasn't he? In defence. He seems a bit cocky. He seems to just feel like he's the man in charge, and I always feel like he's got a mistake in him, especially next to Keane. It feels like a liability, those two together. So, yeah, I'd agree. Kenny's going to be difficult to ship because he won't play for us, really. So why is he going to play for anyone else unless it's like Burnley or a lower level Premier League side? Bob saying Park End, so that's directed to you.
I got behind the team. Didn't get behind Rafa, fair enough. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to boo him. He's here to stay. I get that, and and hopefully he'll change my mind, and I'll hold my hands up when I'm wrong. Yeah. Absolutely, Bob. But I always back the team. I go home and away. I'm going to Leeds. I'm going to Huddersfield. Can't go to Brighton because I'm at a wedding. But and then so you say you can't not get behind the team. Well, I am. I do go the aways, and I do
keeping the players' wages going.
Exactly.
Vicky's saying finally a bit of character in the Everton side. Yeah, exactly. Could have
bit of fight.
Could have easily crumbled.
Fight. That's what we needed, Vicky. Absolutely.
Yeah, completely agree. We could have crumbled. And I think Southampton, I don't know whether it was our intensity in the second half and our desire and mentality that got us over the line, or Southampton's kind of press, they got a bit tired. But I think it was a combination of the two, and definitely the fans had a big impact on the demise of Southampton's energy levels and motivation.
The Shiter 3-0 up, by the way.
I think we knew that would happen anyway. Neil to a draw v Henderson. So we have a.
Isn't that a bit risky? Isn't that a bit risky, Neil? Wow. given Everton's records on penalty shootouts in competitions, no, I'd rather not. Thanks, Neil.
I don't know. Is that one where it goes to it doesn't go to extra time and it just goes straight to pens? I think.
I just think don't know these rules anymore.
Well,
There's too many of them, but
we don't really have the squad depth to rotate that much, so I'm not sure what will happen.
I think it goes to extra time first. I think in the Carabao, I'm not sure, but I think it goes to extra time.
Steve saying, "Don't get fans up behind Rafa." You've opened a can of worms here.
Oh, Jesus!
If he keeps doing well, we can't keep the lads doing well if we don't get behind the manager.
Well, no, as I say, I keep saying this, and I'll drive this point home. I'm behind the team 100%. And if I'm wrong about Rafa, then I'm wrong. And I'll hold my hands up. I say I'm wrong. I'm not going to be the one to say, well, if we've won the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or, we finished fourth. I don't know, shit. No, I'm not going to say that, obviously. But as I say, I'm still getting behind the team, and that's it. And again, Stephen, everyone has their own opinions on the matter, and that's entirely fine. But we're not going to. I won't share it on this channel. If you want to say stuff, absolutely, we'll address it. No worries.
Neil's confirmed it goes straight to pens in the League Cup. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Sounds, Neil.
Vicky's saying, was it all a cover-up in terms of COVID isolating, given Mina was with James on Twitch? This is a funny one, isn't it?
Jesus.
It's very strange, this one. I do feel it's quite suspicious what's been happening recently.
Yeah, it's, if James refusing to play, you don't know, do you, what's going on? What is this Twitch, by the way? I've heard about it. What is it?
It's like a streaming site for, like we're using now, StreamYard, but it's like for gaming.
Oh, okay. Right, okay.
Yeah. Neil's saying Burnley wanted Kenny last summer. Yeah, I think that's why I said Burnley out of sort of subconsciously.
Yeah.
We couldn't agree a fee, so he went on loan to Celtic. He's got 1 year on his contract, so we should get a few million for him now if we can. Yeah, but if we can't get a replacement, I don't know what replacement we can get in for 3 or 4 million, but there's not much available, is there?
No.
Maybe we can get Southampton right back. He was good today.
He's to say, Dumfries would have been the ideal, but he's gone to Inter. So yeah, just I think you have to keep Kenny as in case of Coleman, just as a backup.
And then Bob saying Rafa showed good tactical. He means now good game management. Never seen much of that. Yeah, and I think, as I said before, I think the decision to put Richarlison more into the game by putting him central was very useful. So he obviously gave them a rollicking and it worked, and that's his job. I can't imagine Ancelotti kind of giving them that sort of push in the same way. So.
And again, he didn't. I think as well. I think it's a positive that he didn't shut up shop at 2-1. He shut up shop at 3-1. So again, good. That's good management. And again, I'm going to say it. I was wrong, but I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'm quite happy to do that.
I think we're going to wrap up shortly. But Mabsy, what did you think of Gray and Townsend today with it being Goodison debuts?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to have to get used to us, but I think they were decent enough, to be honest. Couldn't fault them really. Yourself?
Yeah, I thought they were okay. I thought they offer a different dimension to the team that we haven't had, which is someone who naturally can stay wide and feed crosses in if they get the opportunity. I didn't think they got fed enough in the first half because when they got a chance, you could see they could put in a dangerous ball, but you've got to feed them. And I think that relies on either a ball carrier or in your midfield, or you've got defenders who can ping a ball into the right area rather than aimlessly.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're good. They're going to be good additions. I'm not, again, good, quite nice little clever signings, but we do want that big signing. Probably not going to come, is it?
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to sign any more players. I mean, we might get one or two at the end of the window if we can shift some dead wood. James confirmed what Rafa said about isolation. Bob.
Did he? Okay.
Neil saying the lad from Portugal we linked with Basuta was supposed to be about 4 million, so we could cover that fee for Kenny. Yeah, I think people are just prepared to take a chance on any old 4 million. They know Kenny's just not cut for it. So, I don't know. We've got to be shrewd now, haven't we? We can't just.
If we can get him for 4 million, though, but who knows? What is paper talk and they're valuing stuff, aren't they? So who knows?
Yeah, there's got to be some options out there. Whether it's like, I don't know.
Well, you think with COVID there would be some options? People trying to make some a little bit of money to try and balance the books a bit, but you don't know.
Yeah. Mark saying James and Gomez had more craft to help find the wingers earlier and in more advantageous positions, but may sacrifice legs and other essential work rate in midfield for them. Yeah, it's spot on. We do need 1 or 2 of those players in the team though, because today at times we did look lacking of sort of ideas and direction.
Yeah. So basically, he's kind of saying there are a luxury, aren't they, isn't he? Basically, but
they're a luxury, but the difference, you've got to have that luxury. I mean, United have got Bruno Fernandes doing that role, so you've got to have somebody. You've got to make room for one or two luxury players.
Yeah, I know. It's just hopefully hopefully he can get rid of Gomez and see what he's on, and then push on. Hopefully, but
if you don't have a player like that, when you come up against the big boys, I mean, what are you going to offer? You offer, a physical test and a work rate, but in terms of quality, you might struggle to kind of break them down.
No, it's a tough one, and I do get that, but I just it annoys me. I think I'm rankled by not being able to see him play. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen at the end of the window?
And Bob's saying Rafa can improve players, who I don't think they should be too concerned right now. Yeah, precisely. Yeah. I mean, that's why the first half was a disappointment. But as I said at the start of the video, I'm not going to get too caught up on it, because I think Rafa will talk to them about, when they get into these positions, when they receive the ball and where to go, and not to punt aimless balls in, and how to what the sort of areas to make runs and to put the balls into channels. It's early days, so it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Mark saying good comments from Bob and some of the other Blues on here. Been following the channel a few months, and pleasure to be a part of it. Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, Mark.
Great
yeah, I was hoping we can keep it growing and subscribe and stuff like that. Brilliant, yeah. Thank you.
We're only a small channel, but we are trying to grow and hopefully reach 500. That's the next target on YouTube in terms of subscribers. Steve saying everyone subscribe. These guys are Everton buddies. Thanks,
Cheers. Steve. Thanks, Steve. I know you gave me a bit of hard time today, but no, I do appreciate it.
Mark saying, why does James need to isolate when he's been training on his own?
No, you're right. Who knows?
There's something what's going on, isn't it? I mean, if Mina was right in the room with...
there's obviously fallen out between Rafa and James, and there's rumours that he's been told to leave. So let's just see what happens on that one.
Yeah. And Neil saying, they do provide craft, but can you have both James and Gomez together? They're both too slow. Maybe one of them in the right system. Hammers for me is an option off the bench.
Yeah. Well, this is it. It's kind of like, can you afford James to be a bench player? Pass, and I don't think you can. It's too expensive. Gomez, I don't know.
It's tricky. It would be like the reverse of today. Like, you've got the workman's team today. And that would be adding quality. But we saw last year many examples where James, Gomez, and even Sigurdsson were in the same side. So slow and pedestrian, and it's got to have a balance of it. You've got to have runners. You've got to have your Gray and your Richarlison making runs in behind, and you've got to have quality players behind that to feed the balls in. But I don't know. I mean, I think there's a question mark over Allen at the moment, because he didn't have the best this game. And we've got what's his face? Gabamin to look forward to, see what he can offer.
Just keep him fit.
Bob saying, great stream, lads. No drama, no shouting, no egos.
Cheers.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, we'll be wrapping up in a few minutes. So any last sort of comments? But Mabsy, looking back now, so was there any players you thought were standout apart from Richarlison and Doucoure, and which players are a concern for you from that performance and are at threat in their team?
Obviously, Keane and Holgate are concerns. Nothing else. No one really stood out. They all did the jobs for me. Doucoure and Richarlison were a cream of the crop. I can't actually fault DCL because his goal was fantastic as well. So maybe I'm being harsh on DCL there, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think they did the jobs in the second half. You know what I mean? They got the bollock and then they improved. Yeah.
And you still at threat with Holgate and Keane, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be having them as first choice. But there we go. That's my opinion.
I think it's looking positive. I think we got that first win under our belts, which is essential with Rafa coming in and the negativity in some areas of the fan base. And I think we can move forward now. And fitness is only going to improve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark, Bobby spot on. Great characters on this channel. I thank you very much, Mark.
Cheers.
Pundits and comments, no drama, no shouting. Yeah, that's really good to hear, Mark. Because we're trying our best, and obviously we've only been going sort of a couple of months. Neil's saying it was walking football. Siggy, James, Gomez, Woody. Sadly, you've got to run. Yeah, there's something our team that it lacks, doesn't it? And Doucoure sort of optimize that today, kind of embrace that element.
Steve was meant to join us. Steve Grant was meant to join us, but he was unfortunately tied up with his child. He couldn't be with us, unfortunately.
Going to host before, but he couldn't make it. Tomorrow, I'm not sure if Ryan might be doing something with Steve tomorrow, get a different perspective. On what's been going on. So we'll talk to them and see if they're going to do something. Saying thanks to Mark. Mark saying turn notifications on. Thank you.
Cheers.
He needs to see Pickford's psychology.
Yeah, he really does.
He probably does at the moment. And Steve again saying sorry.
Don't need to apologise, Steve. It's again, you're right. It's a game of opinions, and absolutely, I don't mind addressing stuff like that. Absolutely not a problem. So no need to apologise, pal. It's all good.
And on that note, I'm going to play the Lucas Dean message. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you next time.
It's Lucas Dean. Follow Everton.
Subscribe.
Yeah, of course.
See you later, Lucas.